Morning gang, soul snatcher out after BKB 23. What a fucking madness that was, eh? Didn't end up fighting, which you all know. It's now Monday, and I just wanted to get something down just about the mixed emotions it was. I know a lot of people come to support me that night, and was disappointed not to see me fight, but they was quite impressed with the show that was put on. It's just a shame obviously I wasn't on it. So I just want to address a few things, and yeah, give you all a thank you for your support and the nice messages I've had, and what we're going to be doing with going forward. Right, so let's talk about the day, which was Saturday. Me and my mate's media had gone up there the night before to get settled in London, staying at the Hamptons Hotel. It was a nice hotel, they treated us well there. Accommodated all my food prep that I needed to make sure that I made weight the next day. We had quite a laugh actually, it was quite relaxed. I went and found the gym in there as well, so I could have a little stretch and just relax, a bit of time sort of thing. It was good, we was set on the day. We woke up, I was on weight, which I normally am, because I don't fuck about and we take this shit professionally. And we went down there, we was relaxed, went to the O2. There was a few nerves. I did have a few more nerves in this fight than what I did have in the others, because his camp's been a bit different, dedication's been different. Where I've structured myself in the gyms for this camp's been different, and I've done it by myself as such. So yeah, I did have a few nerves, natural nerves, but they excite me as well as they sort of like give me fear. But we went down there, we was ready to go. We got there quite early, and there was a few of the fighters that was weighing in. I think I was fifth to weigh in. Then I got a message from some of the management saying that Conan was going to be late because he's only just got a train. I thought it was a bit weird because I thought he lived in London, to be fair, and I thought he'd be there on time. But I had someone else come up to me telling me that that's him playing mind games with me, trying to get me a bit nervy or whatever. But it would take more than that to fucking get the nerves up me. So I just nutted off, shut my eyes, sat back and just relaxed. Didn't think nothing of it, to be fair. And then he turned up, and it's all hyped up by the time he's there, sort of thing, because a lot of people waiting for the weigh-ins, this, that and the other. So we weighed in. I think I was 78.9. The fight was made at 79. He come in at 76 point something. So it was good, we both made weight. I was confident that obviously that the fight was going to go ahead at that stage. They called us for a face-off, and there was quite an intense eye-to-eye face-off with me and Conan. And I did feel like, I know it sounds bollocks, because I've never been a believer of the stare-offs are really important when it comes to the fight, but I did feel that there was a moment in there where I did lock right into his soul, and sort of, in my head I was repeating that I was going to really fuck him up and destroy him and break him. I didn't say nothing, obviously, I'm saying this without saying nothing, but it was the thoughts. I was really channeling my sort of vision of me beating him in the fight. And I felt that he felt that, and I did feel that I broke him in that little sort of moment. And I've never been a believer that that matters, but there was something in me that telling me that, yeah, I just cracked him with it. So it was good. I felt even more confident, like when I sort of see the fears in his eyes kick in. It was sort of like the realism set in when I was standing in front of him. It was like the realism set in that I'm going to be smashing him in the face in a few hours. And like with me, it sort of gets me more like excited and sort of more nervous, but more wanting the fight. And I just felt with him that when he felt that sort of vibe, he just, yeah, I don't know, maybe he thinks he's tough and, you know, he loves a good fight, this, that, but when someone's standing in front of you telling you and knowing that's what they're bringing, you know, it's a different game. So yeah, we felt we had him. He said he didn't want to do a joint interview. I don't give a fuck about all that. I'm respectful when it comes to interviews, so I'm happy to stand there with my opponent, be respectful to him, and then smash him up on the night. But he said he didn't want a joint interview. I didn't give a fuck, so I just said whatever. Then when I went round to get interviewed, he'd already said to the person that was doing the interviews that he's got something different I'm not ready for, and I'm not going to be ready for the pain that he's bringing or some shit like that. But I've heard all that bollocks before, and look what happened. Fucking hell, he didn't even make it to the ring. So none of that matters to me, and I just felt, yeah, whatever. So when they tried to interview me, to be fair with you, I did have a bit of the fucking needle, and I didn't really get into it. I just said, look, what's been said? He thinks he's going to do this, that, and the other. I'm telling you now that I'll be victorious by any means necessary, and that was it. I ended the interview with that. And the next thing that I'm thinking is the next time I see him, I'm going to be smashing him in the face on fight night. I was quite happy with that, you know what I mean? So we left it at that. We left the weigh-ins confident, went and grabbed some food, and yeah, we went off to settle down to get ready for war. Right, so that was that, weigh-ins done. And then it was fight night. So we set out. I managed to get a bit of sleep actually when we went back to the hotel room. And my corner man, Darcy Delaney, come to the hotel, had a little chat about things that was going on for the fight and what our plans were. And we set off, happy, confident, and ready to go to war. It was good. We turned up, got seen to our places, got myself sorted out. I was sharing a change room with Dan Lowell and Sean George, which is an absolute privilege. Two fucking BKB legends. Obviously Dan had a title, they both had title fights that night, so it was nice to soak up a bit of a buzz going out in like the sort of the champs locker room and being around them people. Yeah, it made for a good night, you know what I mean? I was confident, I was happy with my surroundings, I was happy with my corner team. Things were good, you know what I mean? I felt good. I'd walked out and sorted some of my tables out, and then I'd come back, and as I walked through out the back, I could sense something was going on, and I come across as Conan was coming through, and he went, "I've got to speak to you, Paul." But I knew the way he said it, like it's not on speaking to your opponent like that when you're about to fucking have a fight. It's like being respectful and all that, but I could see the way that he wanted to speak. He wanted to like have a conversation as such. So I was a bit taken, like I felt a bit funny, and I said, what is it? And I fucking knew. And he went, "I can't fight you." And I went, "What?" He went, "I can't fight you." And I said, what are you even talking about? And he said, I've got a broken hand. And he showed me his hand, and it was swollen. It didn't look like it was sore, but there was some swelling on it. And I said, "What the fuck are you even, why are you even, like, what are you saying this to me?" And we had a conversation to and from, and that was it basically. He pulled out the fight. There's nothing I can say, do about it. There's nothing, you know, it was out of my hands. And on the night, I dealt with it very sort of professional. I kept my sort of emotions down. My people that had come to support me was very accommodating with the situation, and they understood obviously what had gone on. They was said that there was an opponent there that would be a stand-in. I said I'd fight obviously anyone, and the opponent said that he didn't want to fight, so that was that sorted. It was clear that I wasn't going to be fighting that night, and I was absolutely fucking gutted. Yeah, and that was it. You know, Conan pulled out the fight, and this big talk of whatever, you know, like, I don't know. You get this persona of people when you see him online, you know, that he's a tough man and he'd fight no matter what. And you know, I understand that if he feels he can't fight right or whatever. And then I said to him, I'm remembering now, we was sort of having a to and from conversation, and I said, if I beat you now, you've got a perfect excuse. So I said my hand was injured and all this shit, and yeah, it done me even more. So I just left it down to management to sort it out, and that's when Conan pulled out the fight, and that was pretty much fucking it, you know. Right, so BKB 23. It was a good show. It was mad that I ended up sitting there watching it with my people rather than being on it. There were some good fights. I thought Cole Hobley done well. He got a good win over a really tough opponent, Eric. I get on well with Eric. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. You know, he does bring what he talks about. He loves a good scrap, and he's got as much attitude on fight night as what he has online. You can't knock his grind. He travels around the world fighting anyone. He don't give an absolute flying fuck. And yeah, I thought him and Cole had a good 7-round ruckus. That, like, I think they nullified each other, if that makes any sense. But they both looked like they'd been in a war at the end. And obviously Cole got a decision, so he's world champ, which is a fucking great achievement. And beating Eric's a good achievement. So it was down to the judges though, but obviously it is what it is. That's fighting for you. Sean George had a good result, obviously collecting the belt. I don't like seeing that, like people that I like fighting, like people where I like both of them fight each other, but that's BKB, we do all fight each other. That's just part and parcel. So yeah, he had a good win, and then obviously Dan Lowell, I didn't like seeing that happen to Dan, but fair play to Anthony Holmes. Anthony Holmes seems to be a bit of a beast, he's doing his thing. Full respect to him, but respect to Dan, because I've spoken to Dan, and he don't give a fuck. Yeah, he took that literally on the chin, like, you know, like he did, and he'll be back. You know, he's still champ at a different weight. He was challenging for another weight, so it's, that all adds factor to it as well. But yeah, it was a good show. There was other fights on there that was good as well. I enjoyed seeing it. BKB done their bit as always. Now they've got the changeover fight in Miami with Barry Jones and Tony Bindon. I've seen Barry Jones on the night. Obviously, he's ex-opponent of mine. We get on really well, you know. I wish Barry all the best in his journey. I think he's a class fighter. I think he's going to be a problem for a lot of people. I think he's going to do well out in America. So yeah, caught up with him, and I wish them luck. I wish BKB obviously luck in the next move with the Americans coming over to here as well. I'm looking to be out January the 22nd, which is the next BKB show. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated with what's going on.